Okay, just a minute.
आउट ऑफ उसके भी है हमें, आउट ऑफ स्टेट के भी है.
Excuse me, sir. I also enrolled in the Technoative. Sir, the app which we made in the beginning in the VIP, sir, we made the same apps in the Technovate also.
You are talking about that workshop thing, initial 2 days workshop?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so workshops remain same because they are introductory for the students because every student don't have the advanced knowledge. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So a very good evening to one and all. Today we are here with a very important topic which will surely gonna help you throughout your life, be it your school journey, your college journey, your professional journey, or anything. It is one of the most important process through which each and every part of your life will go on. Today, with our very own founder, the founder of Rancho Labs, who is also the alumni of the IIT Delhi, Mr. Anshul Agrawal, is here with us, who will be helping us and guiding throughout the whole innovation process, that how we need to start a project, how we need to think, what are the researches we need to work upon, and the whole process.
मेरा थोड़ा Discord server.
Wait a minute, I think.
I muted them. You can continue.
Yeah. So the rest is all over to you, Anshul sir. The whole session is all yours.
Okay, thanks a lot, Aniket, for the kind introduction. Okay, so first of all, I would like to introduce you to the today's session, that is the innovation workshop. Basically, it was introduced as an innovation webinar, but we changed to an innovation workshop because we want the session to be as much as interactive as possible. And I want each and every one of you's participation in the program, in the today's workshop. Okay, and basically it's all about how you can bring your own ideas to life and how you can make them sure that they are successful. Okay, so should we start with it? Are you guys excited?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
I'm so
Yes,
excited
sir.
for that.
Okay,
Yes.
let's get started with it then. So first of all, I would like to understand from you guys that what you understand by innovation. So whenever
Let
it
me
comes,
say.
There are new ideas which we have.
okay, so please raise your hands and I'll be allowing you to speak up one by one. I will take your names and then you can speak up, okay? Yes, Atre?
Yes, sir. So innovation is when we create something new of our own idea that is not existing, but we create it.
Okay, okay, good. Swantaj?
So the innovation is something bringing something which is not there, and it is just in fantasy, bringing some fantasy to life.
Okay, bringing some fantasy to life. Okay, Shriyansh? Shriyansh, am I audible to you?
Sir, I want to add one thing.
Yeah, please
Sir,
speak up.
innovation is also something, basically it is something which is already there, but to improve it to a new and better level.
Okay, to
So
a
can
new
I
and a
add
better
more?
level. That's good. Yeah, Shriyansh, you can speak up now.
Yes, sir. I think you can say it's some recreating our own original or creative idea.
Okay, good. Silai?
Yes, sir. So my name is Haran. This is actually my mother's account.
Okay, Haran.
Yes, sir. So it can be like an action of innovating. It can be new method. It can lead us to new world also, new ideas, new products.
Okay, okay, good. Aryaman?
Innovation is something which we create with our own creativity, which is unique and for the convenience in our life.
Okay, okay, good. Ajay?
Sir, I think that innovation is a new way of solving old problems through our creativity, and this solution and this idea is what is the main requirement is this should either save the time or energy or the things required in that.
Okay, cool. And what about Aviraj?
So innovation is a new thing that we invent.
New thing that we invent. Then what is the difference between invention and innovation?
So invention is finding something.
Okay,
Like
so Okay, so there is a slight difference between invention and innovation. Suppose you are coming up with a very new technology, that is an invention. Okay, something new like blockchain, you come up with blockchain, you come up with AI, that is an invention. But when you use the existing things and you come up with a new process, okay, in the same system, you come up with a better idea, you come up with a proper use of that process, and you come up with some product, that is an innovation. Okay. So basically, if you consider the meaning of innovation, it is to create something of use. You can use anything, and if you can create some value out of it, that is an innovation. And it can vary for people. Like you can come up with something, but it might not be useful for me. I might say that is of no use to me, and I don't consider your ideas and something innovative. But for Anika, that might be the best thing that happened in his life, and that can be the best innovation for him in his life. So that depends. That varies. Innovation is a very vast term, as you can say, but it's you can say coming up with something new, developing something new that has some value. And guys, it's requested, please keep your videos on, so it can be as interactive as possible. Okay, so keep your videos on, all of you. Okay, so what we'll do, we will go through a very small story that is about an elephant and 5 to 6 blind men. So what's happening here, you can come up with some idea. Okay, you can come up with some problem, but you don't know where you are right now. Okay, that problem, that idea may be very big, that may be very vast, and you just have a glimpse of it right now. So right now you can consider that idea or problem as an elephant, and you are like a blind person. And some of you just come across the tail, some of you just come across the stomach, some come across the ear. Okay, some come across leg, trunk, or the teeth. And you are blind, you are not able to see the whole picture, but according to your experiences till now, you are able to say something like this. Whenever you come across the elephant and you are trying to touch, and you are saying, you're telling that it's a wall, it's a snake, it's a rope, it's a spear, it's a pen, or no, it's a tree. Everyone have a different experience about different ideas. Okay, so similarly the same thing is happening with you right now. You come across some idea, you come across some problem, and you think that's the final thing, and I have to start developing my solution now. But that's not the whole story, there is something more on that lines. And then if you understand the whole thing, then you are able to grab the whole situation in a better way. Like if you come across the tail, come across the leg, you come across the stomach, trunk, teeth, and then you start to define what exactly is, then you will be able to say that this is an elephant, rather than saying it's a tree, it's a rope, right? Okay, so let's get started with it. Like, what happens whenever you try to do something innovative? You either start with the idea or you start with a problem. You start mostly from these two places, and then you start to build upon that, right? So, what we will do today, we will take a case, we will take an idea, and you have to develop some product for moving from place A to place B. Now, I would like to hear your ideas that what can be the products that can take me from place A to place B. If you want to build something upon it, you have to innovate something here, suppose. So what type of ideas you will come with? So you can raise your hands and I will allow you one by one to speak up. Take your time. Take your time for 2 to 3 minutes and then we can have
Sir,
that.
I didn't get your question.
Okay, let me repeat it. So my question is, suppose you wanted to build something that can help you to move from place A to place B.
Okay, let me think.
So what it can be? This is like a problem statement from where you started, that I want to build something that can help me move from place one to place two. That maybe from one city to another, one village to another, or maybe one town to another, and maybe from different countries, right? So you define your problem statement like, I want to move from place A to place B, and what can be the possible solutions I'm asking. Can you come up with some ideas? Yeah, Pranav, are you there? Swantaj? Yeah,
Yes,
Pranav is
sir.
there, I
The
think.
idea for me is a drone car, which can take you from one place to another.
Okay, so it is drone car. So let me write it. So one of the ideas is drone car. It is by Sontaj. Okay, what else? Pranav?
Sir, so right now there are three ways of moving through air, water, and land. So probably probably a device that can travel through all the three mediums so that we can move from place A to place B regardless of what is the medium in between.
You want to build something that can have all the three possibilities.
Yes, sir.
That is by Pranav. Okay. What else? Yeah, Praharsha.
Yes, sir. I guess we can build some vehicle.
Some vehicle of what type? Like a car? Maybe a modified
Yes,
car?
sir. Yeah,
Okay.
sir.
So,
Sir, and if we want to go fastly, we can even make a teleporting machine also.
okay, we can make a teleport machine. Okay. And what about Aryan?
So actually, I had the same answer as Pranay had.
Okay. Okay. So Pranav and Aryan, right? Similar
Yes,
answers.
sir.
Ajay, what about you?
So you will think that I am crazy, but I want to build large slides from where we can just slide over to the other place.
Oh,
Like
nice.
if
I
there is,
never thought of this idea.
like if
I
one
can.
is above the sea level and one is a little bit lower, then we can make a slide, especially
Yeah,
for the.
that's a really nice idea. I haven't thought of that. It can be an answer. I thought of
Sure.
from starting the skateboard, but I never thought of a slide here. Okay, that's really a good
So I
answer.
have an idea.
I also have
Okay,
an idea.
let's go one by one. Let's go one by one. So
Sir.
Ajay is done. Let me go to the next candidate. That is Aryaman.
Sir, I am thinking of building an AI scooter which is an autonomous driving scooter, and we can tell it where we want to go.
Okay, autonomous scooter. Okay, okay. Atre.
Yes, sir. Maybe we can build an advanced version of a parachute, which will have super speed, and it can transport us in minutes from place A.
Okay, advanced parachute. Okay, and Aridita.
Sir, I have two options, sir. One is a
Okay.
teleportation device which can save time, energy, and also a few fossil fuels like petrol and diesel. And the other a non-pilot helicopter or a plane which can be modified when it's like Google Maps, sir. Like we just put the destination, the course, the directions, and it automatically moves on
Okay, I get it.
for us to reach our destination.
Okay, and Nimit.
Ma'am, oh sir, sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, we can use we can use sir, teleporting, ma'am, sir, teleporting,
Okay, teleporting machine.
yeah, teleporting watch or teleporting machine like that, or sir, or a time travel machine.
Time travel machine you wanted to build. That's really nice. Like it's a nice idea, but it is not feasible as of now, so that's fine. Okay, what about Shubh? Shubh, yeah, you can unmute and say. Are you there? Yes, Kishan.
So
Okay. Yeah.
we can actually just have better road communications and systems where instead of just having to build such let's just say futurist ideas, we can go with like something in the present situation, so we can just modify our road systems in a way that everything is organized, not the way it is right now.
Okay, and accordingly you can build something upon it. Okay. Anyone else who wants to give it
So
give
let
answer?
me. Can I add my point?
Sir, actually, I want to add in my one.
Yeah, I think I forgot to
One
take
minute.
some names. So yeah, Harsh. I think
There are-
Harsh was the name or what I remember.
So can Haran say?
Haran, right. Yeah,
Yes.
Haran.
So I can build a self-driving car that doesn't need a driver. In that case, you can save energy And in your a situation where you can move from place A to B and back to A, with you can save energy while you're traveling also because you don't need to
Okay.
drive it.
Okay.
Sir,
Next, Udit.
So,
Yeah, please switch on your videos when you are speaking something. Please switch on.
The
Yeah,
ropeway.
Udit. Hmm?
The ropeway.
Rope where?
Yes,
I
sir.
didn't get you. Okay, so let me hear the remaining ideas. So, Aviraj, have you said?
No, sir. Sir,
Yeah,
I
please.
want to say, as Pranav
A
said
ropeway.
that as Pranav said that there are three things through which we can travel: air, water, and land. So I don't know like any one of you watched Shiva or not. I used to watch that. So like in that, it is a cycle which can be converted into motorboat. It can fly and it is really good, sir. Or you can take an example of the bike in Doom 3 and advanced vehicles like that. And
So,
one thing we
see,
have to
the thing is, in this problem, if you say, uh, there are many possibilities, right? There are many possibilities, and you are not sure what to do. You can even go somewhat specific. Like it might not be necessary that your vehicle should move through all the three things. It can be into one thing only. Like cars are there, but cars runs in the market, right? There are crores of cars right now in the market. That is also a very good innovation. So
A
it's not
flying car.
necessary that it should travel through all the three ways. If it is possible and if it is workable in the market, that's good enough.
Sir, I had one more idea. Can I share?
Right, right.
Sir, I've heard about segways, but then segways were a good idea, but then they were not that helpful because they were not that helpful because you used to usually fall from segways. So I was thinking of some kind of a roller skate which is attached to pants, and using this you can put shock absorbers near your knees, which can trigger your legs to move in such a way that you reach the destination. In this way, there is no risk of falling from the roller skates, and you can reach the destination in a faster way. And if you are traveling through water, you can use hydroelectric power to power the to power the skates.
Sir, a
sir,
flying
I want
car.
to add in one. Mine
Yes,
one, the
Antaj.
drone.
Hmm. Hmm.
Sir, I want to add that it should be a car which can not only travel in the atmosphere of Earth, but it can even go in deep space.
Okay. Okay. What else? Like, who wants to aid? Like,
Sir,
someone.
it is all-way car.
Okay. So, Santaj,
Everywhere
it is
car we
done.
can
Who
see.
next? Sanjana?
Yes, sir. I have totally three ideas. One is teleportation, another one is a jetpack, and one is flying boats. And
Sanjana, you are not audible to me. Can you repeat once?
can you hear me now, sir?
You are not audible. Can you write in the chat section?
Yes, sir. Of course.
Okay. Matthew?
We can build a hyperloop, which is now still in making, but it is super fast. It avoids friction and can be commutable
Okay.
to all three ways.
so can I add?
Who is left? Shriyansh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You can just make a simple electric cycle. It's going to save both fossil energy and our energy.
Simple cycle. Okay.
So,
And who is
so
left?
Am I
Yeah, Udit.
audible?
can I add?
Yeah.
Uh, a, a car that can increase the ground clearance by just clicking on a button,
Okay.
by which it can go through some some deep water, and it can go,
You are saying ground clearance, right?
Air
yes, ground
suspension.
clearance, and it can go through traffic like that,
Okay. Okay. Who else has
like
to answer? I think.
increasing 2 meter like that.
That's already made.
Okay. Samay, do you want to answer something? Okay. Shriyansh, have you told?
Yes, sir, that's it.
Okay, cool, guys. So let's see the ideas that you come up with. Okay, let's now discuss on them. So the problem statement we started is moving from place A to B. Okay, place A to place B. You want to build something for that. and you come up with a different set of solutions. Okay, like a cycle which can help you to travel up to maybe 3 to 4 kilometers, right? Or 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers. Then a drone car. You can't travel for 1 kilometer using the drone car. Maybe it will be hard. Like you can travel, but if you wanted to move 100 meter, 200 meter, you will not be using it because it might not be effective for the crowdy areas. Okay, and then we are talking about slide. Okay, building a very long slide is not possible. And if you go on a slide, your speed might increase. There would be water. There would be, you can say, rainfall. There would be heat. You have to go through. In winters, it will make you freeze, right? So, in all, like it might not be a feasible answer in some cases, but it might be, right? Autonomous scooter, parachute, teleporting, road system. So what you can see right now is your problem was not right. The problem that I gave you is very vast. That if you started to think at such a vast scale, you will never be able to come up with a proper solution, right? Because you are varying from a cycle to a teleporting machine, a helicopter, a drone car, right? So if you start here, do you think you will be able to come up with a solution to any problem, or your product will be of any use to anyone? It will be not, right?
No,
So
sir,
the
it's
first
out of.
thing, yeah. So first thing that you need to understand is you have to, so let me just keep them here and take a screenshot. So mhm, cool. So there are many possibilities, like you can go on foot, bicycle, motorcycle, car, train, aeroplane, and the ideas that you come up with. It can be varying from a skateboard to a slide to a helicopter, right? Or a teleporting machine as well. So the thing that is understandable to us is to first define the problem in a better manner. That what is the exact case? Do I need to move within 5 kilometers? Do I need to move within 20 kilometers, within 200 kilometers, or within 2000 kilometers? Then only you will be able to come up with something, right? If I wanted to go 5 kilometers, I would be thinking something more of a Segway or maybe a bicycle or a small scooty type of thing. If I wanted to go 20 kilometers, of course, I would be thinking about motorcycle kind of thing, motorcycle or a scooty. If I'm thinking about 200 kilometers, I would be thinking some solutions around car, which also have something on my head because I can't travel 200 kilometers directly on a bike with
So
a
what if
proper comfort.
we will fly?
Hmm?
So what if we don't wanna go from ground?
Yeah, so then you have to consider that thing as well, that it should be through water. That variable should also be added, right? That we need to travel through water. So right now we are taking an assumption that we are traveling through land only. And then moving from place A to place B within 2000 kilometers, then you will be thinking around maybe a helicopter, maybe a train, right? So that kind of solutions you will think of with all the possibilities that person should have proper comfort. Like I can't think of making something where I have a sitting area like a bike and then I'm traveling, like taking that person to 2000 kilometers. That is taking me around 4 to 5 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours, right? So these things are required to be taken into consideration. But do you think is it specific enough? Like even right now, the problem statement that is written is good enough for you to start finding your solution? How many of you think that it is good enough that I can start working on it and I can come up with some solutions from now on? Please raise
No,
your
so
hands
more
once.
specification.
Yeah. So we
Sir,
need
I
to.
didn't get your question. Can you please repeat it?
Okay, let me repeat it. Suppose I want to build something like second problem statement, take the second problem statement. I want to move from place A to B, place A to place B within 20 kilometers. So do you consider this problem statement is good enough for you to start working and finding the solutions for it?
So we might need to set a few like specifications, seeing
So, a few specifications like by land, water, or some other medium.
Sir, I think
Right.
it is a starter level
So,
because we
because
can test it for that.
we need to know the time period in which we need to reach place B and the
Right, right.
medium by which we need
You
to.
also need to know that what should the time period. Like I can design a cycle,
It's
but
not the
which has a
urgency
speed
of
of
the
only 10
problem.
kilometer per hour, right? And that might not be feasible to travel 2200 kilometers for me. Even 20 kilometers, it will take a lot of time for me to reach, right?
Sometimes less in budget, like for 2000 kilometers, other than plane, like some other, like car, like with good mileage, lower on budget sometimes.
Right. So it should, there are also budget constraints as well, right? So you can say there can be lot of variables when you start to come up with a problem statement. There can be lot of variables that you have to keep in mind Whenever you're coming up with an innovation part, you're coming up with your own product or solution, right? So this problem statement is also not specific enough right now. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. But we don't know, even right now, we don't know if that is enough. And if I add three more variables, I don't know if that would be good enough, right? So what I need to do next? For that, we do our research, research, and research. We need to do a lot of research to understand the things. Okay, now how does this research take place? We need to, there are two types of research possible. I will explain them in detail today. Okay, so what is the research you are doing on? You will be going through some surveys. You will try to understand the type of product you are trying to build for whom. Suppose you come to me and ask that what type of product do you want? Like, do you want to travel 5 kilometers or 20 kilometers? Or you can firstly find that I'm thinking to design something for 20 kilometers travel, and you are the right person because you also need to travel in that within 20 kilometers frequently. So I need to just interview you to understand that what type of product would be feasible for you, right? And then you can think around my budget. If I am a person from village, you might be like, I reside in village, then you might be thinking of solutions which can have a travel cost within 100 rupees. But I am living in a city right now, and within 20 kilometers or within 10 kilometers I have to travel. You might think of a budget of around maybe 300, 400 rupees, right? Then your whole product changes. You can think of a cab idea, right? When you are thinking around it. And in the village, you can think of about a bus idea, because a cab will not be feasible in a village just because of the budget constraint, right? So your whole product, you started on day one and you thought of a building a cab, and you started to implement that cab in the village. That will not be a solution, feasible solution. Your idea, your solution might be really good, but it's not of any use. Okay, then that is not a good product. So what you need to do to refine your problem statement, you have to do your primary research and the secondary research very thoroughly. Now, what exactly is the primary and the secondary research? So whenever we come to the primary research, it is you directly go and meet people and try to understand them. Okay, you can get on a call with a person, you can get on a call with a video call, you can directly meet the person, you can take that survey, direct user feedback you're taking around that problem. That's the primary research. Secondary research is, it might be possible someone have already worked on the similar problems. Okay, and then you can go and read that literature. That is like going to a library and reading whatever is there. Okay, so you can go to the internet and can read about what are the possible ways to move from place A to B, and there might be a set of possible solutions that people have built till now, but that might not be in existence. There may be reasons for their failure, or there might be reasons that they are not in use today. So you have to go through that literature, patents, articles, research papers, some internet articles, case studies, to understand them, that are they the right solution, were they the right solution, what was their insight, why the person has not worked or developed the whole prototype, whole product for that. It might be possible they have worked on the prototype, they developed the whole system, but it's still not in existence. Talking about the car, nano car, Tata nano car, how many of you know about that car? Please raise your hands. One. I think every one of you must be knowing about the Tata nano car, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So that car has been, you can say, it is not being manufactured anymore. Its production has been closed down. But if you think in the ideation phase of that car, that's a great car, because it's a budget. It is in the budget. Okay, it is. You can say it has a four tires. It has a proper. It look like a proper car. Okay, like whenever you're thinking that product is, you haven't seen the Tata Nano car, suppose for 5 minutes, and you are just thinking about the possibilities. It would be a nice car. Every villager would be having this car, or every person with who is not very rich can afford a car will be having a car in his house or her house, right? And that kind of things you started to think, and it would be budget friendly and everyone can have, and there would be sales of around 10 lakhs cars per year in the market of this car. But the when car introduced, what happened? It created a different whole icon for the people. It was a symbol for, you can say, you are a poor person. So that desirability, that thing is also have to be studied. So you have to research. Primary and secondary research is the most important thing before you started to work and give your time or money into it. Because on day one, you started with the cab idea, you were required with bus, and you established your whole car company, you started to manufacture car, and on day two, you are getting to know it's a total failure, and you invested maybe 50 or 100 crores in that. Right now, it might be less for you, it might be 5,000 rupees for you, or it might be a work of around 3 to 4 months, but still you could prevent that thing to happen to you, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So anyone have any doubts in this slide?
No.
No, sir.
Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, how many of you are able to understand it fully? Please raise your hands. Okay, 11 students. What about the rest? Are they listening to me? Okay, what about Aryan, Ajay, Ankesh, Aridita? Do you guys have any doubts? Are you not able to understand anything? Okay, Kriti, Prapti, Rudra, Shaurya, Shubh, Sunita, and Vipul. What about you guys?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any doubts?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please speak up if you have any doubt. Okay, great. So 20 students have raised their hands. Great, we can move on now. Okay, so the step one is to understand the user for whom you are developing the whole product, or you are thinking about to developing that product. What you need to understand in them, you need to understand about their geography. That is it a village area, it's a tier two city, it's a tier one city, or it's an area like Dubai, right? The whole product changes according to the area. Okay, you need to also understand the gender. Like if I'm designing a scooty, I need to give the color of the scooty. I might give maybe some colors like which girls like. The choice of boys are quite different, so colors like black can be opted for boys, right? So that style has to be changed for the product. The desirability of the person, what I desire, like it can be the similar product, but my desirability may be of a Harvey Davidson type of bike, right, rather than a bike that is of normal splendor bike. So that also consider a desirability factor. If suppose I am able to spend around, you can say 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs on a bike, and you are making a bike that is of 50,000, of course I will not buy a 50,000 car then, right? A bike then. So that whole, if you wanted to build a product around that category, you need to understand the users, that for what type of users you are developing the whole product. What is their need? It is their need or want. So there is a very big difference between need or want. Let me tell you. Suppose there can be maybe four types of available vehicles for you. Okay, there may be four types of vehicles available for you, but it might be possible you are not required to go anywhere right now. So that is just a want for you, that you can go. If you want to go, you can go. And it might be a possibility that you have to go from place A to place B for sure. Okay, and there is only one vehicle available, or there is no vehicle available, then also you will find a way to go there. So in some cases, what will happen, for user, it is necessary that that product should exist. And there can be some product that is like a want, that if I have this something like this, I would be more happy. But it's not something like a very good need for me. It's not a good enough need for me. Like food is a need for you, right? But eating a, you can say pizza is a want. Are you able to understand me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So pizza is a want, but food is a need for me. Food, it can be anything in the food. But when it comes to specifics, it's just a want. And it might not be necessary that every want product is taken by you. So if I come up with something, let's suppose it is a very nice mobile, and it has a features like it has a 6 GB RAM, and maybe 450 GB of storage, and it doesn't switch off for maybe 2 days, 3 days, right? And it is also have a cost of 4 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees, or maybe something less, maybe 3 lakhs rupees. But you haven't revealed the cost yet. You told about that this is a nice product, and every one of you will say right now that I will buy this product when it will be launched, right? I will think about it. I will buy. Like if I come for the user feedback just to understand you guys, you will say if such a product could exist, I will buy it, right? But when I actually launch this product and come to you with all the 30 people, you will say only three of you might say that I'm willing to pay the money for this, right? So that's the difference between need or want. Some of the products may be your want, that maybe having you can say a drone which can fly, which can take you from place A to place B. That is your want, because you need not use it. Like it is not required for you to have it right now. You can travel via train, you can travel via aeroplane, you can travel or via car right now. That's your need. because that are effective systems for you to travel right now. But having an aeroplane, it's a want, and everyone might not need it, their personal aeroplane, right? So that's the difference between need or want. You also need to understand the frequency of requirement, like how frequent the product is required for me. Okay, suppose you are developing some product and that is only useful for the person maybe once in 5 years. Okay, then you might not think about building that product. You might think how frequently it is being used, then only that type of product you will build. Because you can develop a great product, but that person care that it is useful once in 5 years for me, why I will buy it, why will I spend my maybe 50,000 rupees on this product, right? So that also comes into consideration. You also have to consider the age of the person. If you're developing something for an old person or a child or the a young person, right, you need to understand that the whole product changes, right? So if I wanted to build, maybe you can think around what idea should we take. Any ideas about the where a difference is there between old people and the young people in the product? Anyone? Any
Like
idea?
KTM,
Hmm?
KTM.
So I think old people would like a more ancient, like unique things, ancient things.
Okay, so suppose if we hmm?
Actually, there is a huge difference in that, and there is a huge variety also. Like if we consider a watch, a person who is older, he
Right.
might like a classical watch. But nowadays, what we like Apple watches. We like watches which have a lot of features. We like the watch which is showing our fitness, our heart rate, etc.
Right. So watch is a good example. So you can consider now, if you wanted to build a watch, then you need to understand what is the age of the person, the gender of the person, right? What type of things they desire, what is their willingness to pay, okay, or what are the alternatives he or she is using right now. You might build a company is there, a boat company. Suppose they builds a great watch and that's of quite the same price of Apple, maybe 50,000 or 40,000 rupees. But people will not buy it because Apple already have a very, you can say, good presence in the market. So you also need to understand the alternative of what the other people are using right now. Who are your competitors, right? Before building any product, that if your product will be able to place in the market or not. And you also have to understand basically the existing solutions they are present in the market. Then only you will be able to come up with something innovative. So most important thing is you need to understand the user in a very detailed manner. You have to spend time sitting with the user, sitting with the customer, understanding them very properly. That if my product or is my solution that I'm trying to build, where I will spend my 1 year or 2 years, okay, will that be a good product for them or not? Because you might end up building a helicopter, you might end up building a cycle, you might end up building something like a parachute, but you don't know if the end user will use it or not. And you might have like spended a lot of money and time into it, right?
Yeah, that's
So what you
really.
get from all this discussion right now is one thing, that is you need to understand your customer very well or the user very well. You need to sit with them, you need to understand them, and then only you need to start developing your products or solutions or innovations, right? Either you start from the idea, either you start from the problem. You have to understand them very properly, then only you proceed further. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone
Yes,
who
sir.
have to add anything or want to ask anything? Cool. So let's proceed further from here. So now you go to a person and you started to ask some questions. Like you go to your mother and say, maybe, do you have any problem cutting vegetables using a knife? You thought around building a better knife or a better solution to cut the vegetables. And you just go to your mother and say, ask different question. And your mother start to say, I'm comfortable cutting things with knife. Okay. She is okay. And you ask a couple of questions to understand her. But every time she says that work हो रहा है अच्छा चल रहा है तो as such she don't need anything, but then you also need to understand what they thinks when they give the answer. Like there might be a thing in her mind that maybe when she cuts some carrot she finds issue because a lot of pressure is being required to cut the carrot or maybe other some other vegetables as well. And what she does, you also need to understand what she does because her finger might cut sometimes as well. So that's also a problem in the solution. And you also need to understand how she feels about the product. Okay, does she feel good about using that product, or it might be she don't you don't see her very comfortable in cutting some of the vegetables. So these are things that she is not saying to you directly, but you need to understand them just by looking at the user. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, sorry to interrupt, but I have an idea for this. Could I like share it?
Yeah, please.
So after I learned robotics, I could make a andro-humanoid robot, which which can be trained to do all the tasks that can be done by humans and that cannot be done by human beings. For example, maybe it takes a lot of time for somebody to repair aeroplane or something, so like manufacturing or repairing a fighter jet, whereas this robot can do what a human takes 1 year to manufacture an airplane. This robot can do it in just a few days. So if that happens, I can also help my mom by making it cut the vegetables for my mom and many more.
Right. So now we can think about a different solution, but before building the product, before like what we do is on day one, we directly come up with the idea and we go, we can build this. No, we can't build that. We have to go to the user and understand, do they actually require that type of robot or not? But once you verify that she needs such type of robot in her house, or she needed this kind of thing in the house, then only you start to build that, because developing that robot might cost you 1 crore of rupees, right? It's not easy to build such a big robot as of now, but you might need a 1 crore of rupees, and you require three years or 4 years totally into the research and development. But after that, you get to know that your mother don't want such a robot in the house, just because she don't feel safe about the product. Okay, so there might be that type of issues with the user, like Tata Nano car. Everyone, even you were thinking everyone would like to have a car, like whoever have a low salary, they would like to have such a car in the houses. Every person in India will be having a car in the house, but it's a failure because user don't feel good about the product. They feel it's a symbol of
Another
their
thing,
poverty.
yes.
Sir,
So
I
another
had
thing is that the
sir, I
users
had an interesting
are
question.
even like being
Yeah.
affected by this in a way how the robots can also take place of other people's works. So, for example, a person who's being paid for doing a certain job, this robot takes place instead of him. This leads to a serious like
Yeah.
down downscale for economy in the place and many people as well, which is also
So
important.
it might not be a downscale for the economy. It might be a up for the economy, but of course it will be bad for the people.
It'll make many people jobless, only leading for a few people, like a very less amount of people having jobs and making stable incomes.
Right. Great. Any someone was adding something else as well. Yeah, Ajay.
Sir, actually, I was having a doubt. Like just now, you explained about the things like the people, they have their own mindset about the product which we are going to launch or something. Like we can tell about one of the products which I had seen in last 2 years. 2 years ago, it was like a trending, which was also called fidget spinner, I think so. Like everyone was just crazy for a fidget spinner. Everyone was just rolling it 2 years ago, and now if I see that there is no fidget spinner with anyone, like it has just like vanished.
Hmm. So
So
that
what
will happen.
in such things, sir? Because at one point of time it is like earning the highest value and it is trending, but after some time people get bored and just leave the product. So then it is a downgrade of that company, right?
Yeah. So some of the product might work very well and might be in future, but most of the products just come and go away. Okay, and every product is
Some
not
same
successful.
product is PUBG mobile game also. In middle, there was a lot of craze for that.
So that's a different example. Like PUBG, there is craze is finished for the PUBG because of it was banned in India, right? And it's not about craze. Even
Sir,
people,
it is like a game. Like if we are creating a, if people want some type of game that.
right? Cool. So let's move further now. Okay. So the first thing that you understood is you need to understand the customer or the user well, and then you need to define your final problem statement. Okay. And in the above example that we discussed till now, it can be like solving the problem of commute within 2 kilometers for working professional who wants to reach from metro to office and home to metro in less time, right? Because right now what will happen, you might like it's like you get off from metro, okay, and then you have to travel up to house, maybe 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers. And the same with the office, like the metro is away from the office 1 or 2 kilometers, and then you have to commute. And the rickshaw pullers are there, but sometimes they ask for 50 rupees, 60 rupees, 70 rupees. And from house to metro, you might not find a rickshaw puller, a rickshaw person, right? Because every time it's not possible. So you want to build some solution by which you can travel 2 kilometers within less time, and it might be a cost effective solution also, right? So, and you wanted to build it for professionals, so it might not be cost effective. The main thing is to have the less time thing, okay? It should not take much time, and the thing is only 2 kilometers, and it should be on the land, and it should build only for the tier 1 cities of India, metropolitan cities of India, right? So then you have to, now you can think about the possible solutions, the specific things, that what kind of solutions can be there. And now also you have to go to the user and understand them properly, that how does the user persona look like, how does the life of the person look like, how much time he can spend on your machine or on your product. It might be like he wanted to travel 2 kilometers within 5 minutes. That's the only possible thing for him, right? So you need to come across those ideas, and it might be think that he wants to take that into the bag and then take it to the office as well, okay? So it might be a solution that is so compact that it can be kept in a bag also, right?
Sir,
So
I have an
then, yeah, yeah,
sir, I
Atreya, you
have
want
an
to say
idea about.
something? Okay, yeah, please tell.
Sir, we can just make an inflatable skateboard which works automatically. You have to just control it using your phone. Like its wheels will be wheels will be there, but the thing on which you will stand will be inflated as you give it command from your phone.
Okay, good. That's a good thing.
So
Atreya?
it can be stored in very small place and control
Right,
you with your phone.
right. Atreya, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. Maybe we can, instead of the metro on the land, maybe we can have an underground metro, which
Okay,
can be below the,
so
and there will not be any obstacle.
okay, Atreya, actually you missed the point. What problem we are trying to solve here? We are thinking about metro is already there. Your office and house is already there. But what's happening right now? Let me draw it. So maybe this is your metro line. Okay. And this is your office and this is your home. And this distance is around 2 kilometers. And this distance is around 1.5 kilometers.
Sir, so
Okay.
you are asking how can we cover the distance which is outside the track?
Right, this distance. Because right now for this distance, you might have to take auto. You might have to take some, maybe something like you might have to travel by using a scooty. And you don't have a very feasible solution to commute, right? To from metro to your house or from house metro to your office, the other end, right? And you wanted to build something for this thing, which by which you can travel 1.5 kilometers in a very less time. Because from house, suppose you wanted to travel 2 kilometers, the possible solution is you will be taking some rickshaw or you'll be taking a cab for 2 kilometers, and it might not be like it might not come for even 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So that's a wastage of time. 10 minutes is a wastage of time throughout the year for 365 days or 300 days. You can say it is a 3000 minutes of waste. So that's a lot of hours. Okay. So how we can prevent that? If some solution is feasible, then people would like to have it, right?
So can I add my point on this?
Right.
Yes, sir. So I have a skateboard where they also give the cover for it. Like you can just hang it in your back, like as if you're putting a bag. So you can use that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can also, while you're working, you just keep it below your table. You're going,
Mm-hmm.
you can use that. It's just 1.5 kilometers. Should not be hard to ride it.
Right. But you can see how many people are using it around you.
Very less, sir.
Very less, right? So then you can say there are some problems with the solution. Either people don't want a solution for that problem, or it might be the case that skateboard is not fulfilling that problem, right? So we may have to go to the users and ask what is the exact problem. Is it the problem with the skateboard, or they don't have a problem like this? So do you have this problem? Like how many of you face such a problem? Like maybe you wanted to go to the metro first, you have to go around 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, you have to travel by on foot, and then you reach the metro station. Anyone have this problem, a similar problem?
Yes,
But
sir.
usually a case where you need to travel
Yes,
to
sir.
metro
Sometimes when we
station,
need
not
to go somewhere far.
Right, right. So many of you are facing similar problems, but you don't have a solution. Maybe people don't have a skateboard. A skateboard might be costly. People don't know how to use a skateboard properly. They might fear in using a skateboard.
Sir, mine skateboard
But
is something,
um,
sir, what I told is something else. It's a skateboard, but it's a self-balancing skateboard. The people will not fall down. It will automatically balance them.
Or a motorized skateboard.
Right.
Sir, it will
So
work using your phone only. You will just give a command to it.
right, I
then
understand that
again,
thing, and that might
the
be a good
self-driving
product.
skateboard can also be a quite a not like a cost-effective product. It can be very costly. Like for what we're doing to it, it's going to be costly, and also it's not like
No, it's about or like you can have a self-balancing skateboard rather than having a
Sir, mine
self-driving.
skateboard can go till a size of just a small tiffin box.
Yeah. So maybe you can think around these solutions if you find this problem is you wanted to solve, or you might be thinking about some different problem, but it should be something feasible, right? It might not be so much you can say into air that it is a not a feasible solution, like a teleporting machine or like a time travel machine. These are some of the solutions that are not possible, and I don't recommend you to right now if put the efforts into the direction. Okay. So you
Sir,
also
can
have to
I
think
try
something of the
creating a
ground.
sir? Shall I try solving this problem?
So better than that, we can build a cycle, an electrical cycle that is more affordable and cheaper.
Yeah.
Because
So
Sir,
here you need to
actually, the
understand.
problem of this,
less that, and it is
Like
also
electric
going to our
scooty.
health.
Yeah, I got it. So Ajay, see the problem you need to understand what is the need of the person. The need of
Yeah.
the person is not cost. The need of the person is time and a compact process by which he can reach from metro to properly from home to metro, and then he can keep that product in his bag, and then he can move on. A cycle, you need a cycle
Sir,
stand at the metro station then.
sir,
We
sir,
need
actually
to
can
the
Avidas
solution
try?
for this problem is already there. It is a small cycle which can be inflated and can take up to 100 kilos.
Foldable cycle.
Okay, so I'm not asking you about the solutions right now. It can be something more than that. You have to go to the users and understand them for whom you are developing the product. Okay.
Sir, actually the solution for this problem is already there, but it is not in that much easy. It is
Okay.
actually an
So
inflatable cycle which can take up to 100 kilos per person. And it is
Sir,
very
can Avidas try?
yeah, everyone can try, of course, but of course it will be requiring you to commit your time. It will take around 5 to 6 months, maybe 3 months to build something for that, a final product, a first prototype maybe. Okay, you because you need to also research with the people. And again, if you go directly into the solution, you will end up with something building a helicopter or maybe building a bus where you will require with a maybe a cab only, right? And there might be some more solutions to it maybe like you might not require to develop a whole product, you might require to develop something process like maybe an Ola or Uber, right?
Yeah.
So you just have to understand the user. You have to once you understand the user you come across यार मेरे मेरे यूजर को प्रोडक्ट चाहिए ही नहीं, मेरे यूजर को बस इतना सा चाहिए कि वो प्लेस ऐसे प्लेस भी पहुंच जाए. Why we are thinking about the product,
Or
right?
we can bring back the idea of trams in India.
Right. So there can be many things possible, but you need to understand the user first. Without understanding the user, we should not talk about the solutions.
So, and we
Okay.
need to find, we need to know our conditions also, whether we can afford to do that project and what is the
Of
cheapest.
course. Like, but that understanding will
If
only
we
come
can
when you
tell,
go to the user.
yeah,
Sir, in
we
trams, they
we
can
can
buy a
simply
ticket
tell
or
that
make
all
a
of us
card.
are having our own ideas and they are like, for listening, they are very good. But what we have to do is the person who knows to refine his idea to the deepest level, he creates something innovative. We need to learn to refine our idea, like just like a funnel where all the dirt, what is not possible, what we don't want, it stays up, and what comes out is a good thing. So we need to
Right,
learn
right.
to refine our idea.
So we
Cool.
need to
Okay, so we
right
will
now we just
have a
hold
more
on.
discussion towards the end of the session, but let me complete the slides first. Okay. So this whole process, you can say it's design thinking. This process of developing innovation or working on ideas is design thinking. And the process that I'm showing you right now, this diagram is called double diamond process. Double diamond. Okay. So what happens in this is firstly you discover that what exactly is the problem. You go and you are try to understand as much as things possible in the idea or the problem. Then you converse. Okay, you start to converse and you define a specific problem. You come to the final problem that will be this, that this is my final problem statement. And then you start to talk about solutions. You start to talk about ideas, that this might be the possible ideas now, because your solution set will be very specific now. When I asked you moving from place A to B, you were coming up with very random ideas. But now when I'm talking about, I have given you a specific problem statement. Now I'm talking about you ideas. You're giving me very specific ideas. Like only a set of 4 to 5 ideas are possible, right? And then you think the ideas from here. After defining your problem statement, you think around the possible ideas. Now here is the innovation thing comes on, that what can you think differently with the constraints that you already have. That the budget, it should be it should be in budget, it should be within 5 kilometers, it should be very compact, and it should also a person can also move. Maybe you can add the constraints of rainfall as well, that my person can also move in the rainfall, right? He should be able to move in the sun as well, in the winter as well. If there is rainfall, then there might be some places that might not be walkable, right? So in that places, how
Well,
that
the
product can be
problems
used
So
for.
the
certain
idea of tram is the best. Actually, people can make a card once and they can, if they are
Yeah,
getting
so
late, they
this
can just
is
take the card and run to the tram.
right, and this is what
trams
happens with
also
people. They
cause
they they just stuck to some solutions. They stuck to some solutions, and they can't think beyond that. And there might be some great ideas beyond that as well. If we try to think, if we try to go to user understand and refine our problem statement, then we think around solution, there might be a good solution apart from that as well, right? And this is where the innovation comes in. And then you come up with the final ideas. Like there can be a list of 20 ideas or 30 ideas you come up with, and then again you go to the user and then you ask them, do you consider this is a possible solution? Do you think, how about using such kind of a product? And they might say, it sounds good, but what about the rainfall? Okay, what you're saying, it sounds very good, but do you think it will be budget friendly for me? Because I'm willing to only spend 600 rupees per month for this whole thing. Because right now I'm using a rickshaw puller and he takes around 900, it costs me around 900 rupees per month, right? So that might be an issue for you, because your product might budget, it has a budget of around 20,000 rupees per person, right? So a lot of constraints are there. Okay, and then once you go to the users, you try to understand them, and you can refine to come across maybe 3 ideas, that these are the 3 solutions that people talk about, and people think that this can be the feasible solutions for this problem. And then you see, according to you, what's more feasible, what's more cost effective, what can be easily prototyped, right? Then you develop some prototype, you develop the product in phases, and then you start to again take the feedback, then refine it, then take feedback, then refine it, and then you deliver the product. So of course, it's a complex process, and it looks, let me come to the next slide. Okay, and it is something like this. You start in a zone that is very complex, that's totally random, like starting moving from place A to B, and everything we coming up with like every solution, very uncertain pattern, like nothing is there. And then you go to the user and you try to take the insights. You're coming up with really good insights, that I want this, I want this, I want this. And then you start to develop your concept, that this is something that we want to build, and you think around different possible ideas, and then you come up with a proper innovation. When you have a clarity, you have a focus on the right thing, that's what we want to build,
So
right?
that means simply to untangle a thread.
Hmm?
So simply to untangle a thread.
Hmm. Right. So now the choice is yours here. Like you can initially settle for what you see. Initially, you saw this elephant by touching it different parts, like by just looking at the one aspect of the problem. You started to make your own conclusions, that this is maybe this is a snake, or this may be a tree, or this is something like this. This is what you started to do initially, that is moving from place A to B, that this is what I can do, this is what I can do, this is what I can do, without understanding the whole scenario. But you have to have a wider look. You have to understand the all data points, that what my user requires. And then when you have a complete 360 view perspective, then you start to talk about the ideas. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So let's move further and see. So next comes the ideation phase where you come up with different possible ideas. I think, Aniket, this slide is not coming properly.
Yeah.
Have we deleted something from here? Yeah, it's coming now.
No. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So after you refine your problem, you come up with a final problem statement, you go into the ideation phase. And this is where you want to put your brains properly. You have to come up with different possible ideas. You have to brainstorm the possible solution. You have to highlight the opportunities. You have to ask the opposite questions maybe. Matlab, what is about opposite questions? It might be if I'm not using maybe this phone, if I'm not using this phone, suppose this phone does not exist in the market. People don't know about this product. Then what people will be thinking about? What else can be there to make a call? What else can be there to make a video call? What else can be there to make a chat system, right? If the phone doesn't exist, then you think around and you come up with some different solutions. And you can think about having a remote by which you can be having a chat system just on the remote. Or you can have something like, what
Or
if a
watch.
calculator can have a chat system? My
Or a
easy
watch
calculator,
can have.
your watch can have, right? So you come up with different possible solutions then, and that solutions might be beyond imagination of people, normal people, right? People even can't think of such a solution is possible. What if you integrate a talking system in this, okay, in this remote, and that can be useful for the age group of maybe less than 10 years students. They just have a simple chat system for their classroom purposes, right? And some of the activities can be designed in the school where calculator is there, but you can have a chat system, and some of the group activities it is allowed for you that you can have a collaboration there to work on, right? So many things are possible there. You have to amplify the good things. You have come up with very good ideas. Then you have to eliminate the bad ideas. You have to explore the opposite questions as well. You have to identify what are the unexpected resources. Now, what is the meaning of unexpected resources? Like, people could not have seen the feasibility of having a chat system in a remote. And you come up with this idea and you find the idea quite interesting that it might be a feasibility. You are just taking into consideration. And then you start to analyze if that is a feasible solution, and you go to again your users and talk about it, and they might say, no, it doesn't find a very interesting idea to me. Your users can say it, but you are very excited about it because it was your idea, right? So that's how the whole ideation process works. And then now you have to prototype. Suppose now you finalize one solution, that this should be my application, or this should be my game, or this should how my product should look like. Okay, so what you do, you start to prototype them. Prototype in meaning you have to develop some simple things without making a huge investment into them. Okay, just rough sketches of them. So for apps and websites, you can use paper and pen. You can make wireframes, you can make mockups. For game, you can make design scenes on the paper proper, 3D design scenes you can make there. And for the product, you can use 3D printing, you can use molds, you can also use plastic and paper for that product. And you can prototype and just go to the user again and ask them that this is what you were thinking about. Can this solution can be feasible for you, right? And let's come to the final thing, that is testing. You have to test with the users and then again and again iterate it according to requirements. Now I'll be playing a very nice video here of the similar thing, which will give you a crystal clarity about the whole thing that we discussed till now. Okay, and if you have any doubts after this, we can discuss them.
Problems for a particular group of.
Is the sound audible?
Design thinking is a 5-step
Yes,
process to come up with meaningful
Yes, sir.
ideas that solve real problems for a particular group of people. The process is taught in top design and business schools around the world. It has brought
Sir,
many
I can only
businesses
see the
lots of happy
prototyping
customers
slide. I can't
and helped
see the
entrepreneurs from all around the world.
Can you repeat once?
Sir, I can't hear or see the video.
That's
What
the
about
problem
the?
of the specific
Yes, we can.
person. It is
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
really
sir.
I
audible
It
see.
is
and
visible and audible also.
Right, so your internet might not be working fine.
To solve problems with innovative new solutions. Step 1. Empathize. The purpose of step 1 is to conduct interviews that give you an idea about what people really care about. We need to empathize with their situation. For example, if you want to help old people, you might find that they want to keep the ability to walk around. In your conversations, they might share with you different ways they can do that. Later into the interview, you'll want to dig a little deeper, look for personal stories or situations where things became difficult. Ideally, you redo the process with many people with the same problem. Step 2. Define the problem. Looking at the interviews, you can now understand the actual needs that people are trying to fulfill with certain activities. One way to do that is to underline the verbs or activities that the people mentioned when talking about their problems, like going for a walk, meeting old friends for tea, or simply going grocery shopping around the corner store. You might realize it's not so much about going out, but more about staying in touch. After your analysis, formulate a problem statement. Some elderly are afraid to be lonely. They want to stay connected. Step 3. Ideate. Now focus only on the problem statement and come up with ideas that solve the problem. The point is not to get a perfect idea, but rather to come up with many ideas, like unique virtual reality experiences, senior-friendly hoverboards, or a modified pushcart. Whatever it is, sketch up your best ideas and show them to the people you are trying to help, so you can get their feedback. Step 4. Prototype. Now take a moment to reflect on what you have learned from your conversations about the different ideas. Ask yourself, how does your idea fit in the context of people's actual lives? Your solution could be a combination of a new idea and what is already being used. Then connect the dots, sketch up your final solution, and go build a real prototype that's just good enough to be tested. Step 5. Test. Now test your prototype with actual users. Don't defend your idea in case people don't like it. The point is to learn what works and what didn't, so any feedback is great. Then go back to ideation or prototyping and apply your learning. Repeat the process until you have a prototype that works and solves the real problem. Now you are ready to change the world or open shop.
Okay, so are you able to understand the whole process now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I will give you a problem statement today.
Yes, sir.
You have to design a wallet for your father. Okay, so you have to go to your father, you have to talk to them, you have to understand them. Okay, you have to think around what type of wallet he wants. Do he want a chip into that, which can be a GPS system? Do he also want a Wi-Fi thing into it, right? So just talk to your father, try to understand him fully, empathize with him, like what is the use of a wallet for your father? Does he keep only money into it? Does he keep also the credit cards into it? Okay. Does he also use it to keep some photographs, and or what other things that he's using, like he's using the wallet for? What should be the size of the wallet, okay, that can fit his pockets? And what should be the weight of the wallet? What type of material should be there? Like your father might like a leather wallet, right? So you need to understand your father first. Then you need to define a problem statement that my father wants a wallet of this size, of this weight, with a chip system into it, because he can find that, maybe a GPS system into it, because he forgets about it. And some of the fathers can be there, some of your fathers that uh, they don't forget anything, like they never lost a wallet, so you don't need a GPS system then, right? And then you have to ideate about it, that what can be the possible solution, how many pockets that wallet must have. Like your father, if you require only for keeping the notes, that can be only 2 pockets, that would be fine in the wallet. Okay, and what should be the folding pattern, what should be the opening pattern of it? All these things have to be thought of. Then you can build a paper prototype. Just you can take paper, okay, and then you can make 3 to 4 prototypes of it, and you can show to your father, like which one do you like and why he likes that, and what are the problems into that, and would he like if you develop the final product for them, right? And you also tell them that what are the aspects being covered, and you understand that what are the aspects not being covered. And then you start to develop a better prototype, and then you give it to them. and then he use it for 1 or 2 days and then give you a better feedback that there are 3 more problems into the product right now, and then you might refine it and you develop an ideal wallet for your father, right?
Sir, in some cases, it does not need to be physical. No, sir. If some parents are completely online, you can develop a app that acts as a wallet, which has a lot of outsourcing through Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm, and everything.
Right, and some of your fathers will be like they don't use a wallet, so you don't try to develop a wallet then.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there are endless
Sir.
possibilities into it. Okay, yeah, now we will open the session for the doubts. Yeah, and we can
So
discuss.
those people who don't have any doubts,
About
can
the
they
link which you had given in which you had written in the end of the picture, which you showed us just right now.
You wanted to talk like you're talking about the picture that I've just shown.
Sir, I am talking about the link on the left side of the picture, bottom left.
Okay, it's I think it must be something related to Stanford. It is dschool.stanford.edu.
Sir, so do we have to do something on that link?
No, you don't have to do something on that thing. You have to talk to your father. You have to try to understand what type of wallet he wants. Okay, what purposes he uses the wallet for. You have to ideate what can be the possible things. Then you have to prototype and then you have to test it. Okay.
Sir, after
It's an
that, will we have a session in which we'll share our creative ideas or something like that?
Okay, so every Sunday we have a session on some new topics. Every Sunday we have these additional sessions are there for every community member. Okay, and you can come and attend these sessions. Okay, and learn a lot of things. And for this, we will think around. So I need to take your feedback for the today's session. Like, how was your feedback? Did you like it? We should have more sessions around it, or what?
We need a more
That was
section.
a very good
Yes.
session, sir.
We need more sessions. More
Sir, I
sessions.
like this session.
Sir, actually, this session
It
gave
was
us
a great
definition how to just make your thing work. It can work in market, work for people properly, not just like for
It seems
you.
that
We
it is.
need more sections.
You need more sessions on the same lines.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Like new things.
Sir, new things about like, sir, different things every time.
Different things like, first of all, please switch on your videos, everyone. Whoever is there, please switch on your videos.
Okay.
Sir, just like COVID melange was divided into 3 teams, so will there be any further divisions in this session, or it will be
No,
combined?
this session is complete here, Atre. Okay, that's an optional activity for you to do. Okay, so we will share the presentation. You can ping me or you can ping Aniket on Discord, or and on Discord channel, we will share the whole PPT link. Okay,
Sir,
so you can
I did
access it
not
from
there
there.
in the Discord channel.
You haven't got the link for the Discord channel? Okay, so we will share it in the chat section. Please share it, Aniket. Okay,
Excuse me,
so
sir.
what topic we should have for the next session?
Sir, how to go ahead with our idea and implement it further?
Okay,
Sir,
so
I think we can go with some new technologies which are coming up in the world.
Yes, sir.
okay,
New
okay, we can talk
technologies.
about them.
New
Sir,
Okay,
actually, this will
possibilities.
help us a lot.
right. And let me answer the other question. So how you have to implement your idea? So firstly, you need to work upon your ideas. You have to learn the right technologies for them, because right now you might be like, when you go around building that wallet, you will come across like GPS system, how to integrate a GPS system into your wallet. But most of the students at Rancho Labs would be knowing that, who have attended the robotics program, how to integrate a GPS system, or they know how to use a GPS, like they can use a GPS sensor into it, integrate with the Arduino and can link it, and then finally prototype into a very small chip. Okay,
We
so
can
these
use
things
the
are possible with the
AI.
people, but you need to understand the right skills. You have to gather the right skills, or you have to have someone on board in the team who have the right skills. Okay, and then you can work around that idea, prototype it, test with the users, and can implement that project.
Sir, can I tell an idea for the next webinar?
Yeah, Abhiraj.
Sir, maybe we could have some webinar on the topic that which is right for us, like for example, web development, game development, robotics, or app development. Let's say we are confused, so they can tell like, if you have these specific qualities, then you should go for this and more like that, like an overview of
Okay, an
it.
overview of 3 to 4 subjects together.
Yes, sir. And what
Yeah,
qualities we have according to
actually, I
that, which
got
one
this
is
problem.
preferred?
This problem is
Okay.
of almost every developer, like which stream to choose. So he's asking for that one, which can help everyone to choose
For
one
me
stream as well.
also, I'm going with Aviraj.
Okay. So Aniket, we